This was a massive spot to be in for such a young talent, to have a sold-out crowd completely behind her.
Eala from the Philippines could be the next big thing in pro tennis.
This is the goal, to do well on the WTA Tour. I'm super proud of what I was able to accomplish, but the end goal is to win slams.
Alex Eala has just rewritten the narrative of Asian tennis, and the entire circuit is still catching its breath after what unfolded in Dubai. She arrived ranked 47th in the world, largely viewed as a promising talent still building her resume, but she left having stunned a top 10 opponent, powered her way into the quarterfinals of a prestigious WTA 1000 event, and climbed to a ranking no Filipino tennis player has ever reached before. This was not just a good week, it was a seismic statement. The numbers alone demand respect, but beyond the rankings points was something even more significant: belief. Belief that she belongs on the biggest stages, belief that her game can dismantle the elite, and belief that this rise is not temporary. Around the tour, rivals have taken notice, and they are not celebrating. The margins are shrinking, the gap is closing, and momentum is now firmly on her side. The question is no longer whether she can compete, it is how fast she can ascend. Can she break into the top 20 before Roland Garros? Can she carry this fire into Indian Wells and then into the bright lights of Miami Open? One breakthrough can change a career, but sustained hunger can change history.
New career high para kay Pinoy tennis star Alex Eala ang kanyang ranking ngayon sa Women's Tennis Association.
Alex Eala's breakthrough is best understood through one defining number: world number 32. That is where she now stands in the Women's Tennis Association rankings after her remarkable run at the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships, a tournament she entered ranked 47th in the world. In the span of a single week, without lifting the trophy, without reaching the final, and even after a straight sets quarterfinal loss to the third seed, she surged 15 spots to a new career high, the highest ranking ever achieved by a Filipino tennis player in the Open era. This is not just a personal milestone, it is uncharted territory for Philippine tennis, reached at just 20 years old. The mathematics behind the leap explains the magnitude. As a WTA 1000 event, Dubai sits just below the Grand Slams in the ranking hierarchy, and a quarterfinal finish awards 215 ranking points, a total that can take months to accumulate across lower-tier tournaments. In one electrifying week, Eala banked points that dramatically reshaped her trajectory, stacking them onto the solid foundation she had already built. And number 32 is not merely symbolic, it is strategically powerful. Sitting inside the top 32 secures a seeded position at all four majors: the Australian Open, French Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open, which means she would avoid facing another seeded player until at least the third round. That single number, 32, transforms her draw dynamics, her season outlook, and potentially her career ceiling. Being seeded reshapes everything. It shields a player from the tournament's biggest threats in the opening 2 rounds, creating space to settle in, find rhythm, and build momentum before the elite opposition appears. For Alex Eala, the most immediate implication is the French Open at Roland Garros. After a first-round exit there in 2025, returning to Paris in 2026 as a likely seed fundamentally alters her path. Instead of risking a top 10 clash in round 1 or 2, she would be structurally protected into at least the third round, a critical buffer for a player who has already proven she can trade blows with the elite, holding a balanced 3-3 record against top 10 opponents. And before Clay's season fully takes over, the American hardcourt swing offers a massive opportunity. Indian Wells begins March 4th, followed by the Miami Open on March 17th. Both mandatory WTA 1000 events where the entire top tier must compete and where the points distribution is enormous. 1,000 to the champion, 650 to the finalist, 390 to a semi-finalist, and substantial rewards even for a round of 16 finish. In 96-player draws, seeds receive a first-round bye, meaning Eala would begin in round 2, rested, prepared, and armed with scouting insight while others have already logged court time. Over 2 weeks, that advantage compounds physically and mentally. And here is where the numbers start to make rivals uneasy. The climb from world number 32 to world number 20 requires roughly 800 to 1,000 additional ranking points. On paper, that sounds steep, but across two WTA 1000 events where deep runs can yield hundreds of points at once, it becomes not just possible, but strategically attainable. In the context of the American swing, the gap to the top 20 is far less intimidating than it looks. For Alex Eala, a pair of round of 16 finishes at Indian Wells and the Miami Open would add roughly 240 ranking points. Not explosive, but meaningful momentum. However, if she comes close to replicating her extraordinary 2025 Miami run, the mathematics shift dramatically. A semifinal at a WTA 1000 event brings 390 points, and two deep runs across March could realistically propel her toward the top 25 before the clay season even begins. Miami in particular is not a hypothetical projection. It is proven territory. In 2025, she entered as a wild card, a player ranked too low to qualify outright, and stunned the tennis world by defeating Elena Ostapenko, then world number 5 Madison Keys, and then world number 1 Iga Swiatek in straight sets to reach the semifinals. A wild card beating the world number 1 in straight sets at a WTA 1000 event is not a fluke. It is a declaration. That run announced that her left-handed topspin, aggressive baseline patterns, and relentless court coverage, sharpened through years at the Rafa Nadal Academy, translate under the heaviest pressure. The Miami conditions suit her game, but so does the atmosphere. The massive Filipino community in Florida transforms matches into something resembling a home event, with flag-waving, emotionally charged support that can unsettle opponents more accustomed to reserved European crowds. The difference between entering Miami as a wild card ranked outside the top 100 and arriving as world number 32 with seeding protection, first round by advantages, and the confidence of a Dubai quarterfinal is enormous. Miami 2026 will not see the same underdog story. It will see a contender who has already proven she can own that stage. The atmosphere around Alex Eala during the American swing often feels less like traditional tennis and more like a basketball arena, with relentless, partisan energy surging from the stands. She has openly said that competing in the United States never feels like playing away from home, and that emotional surge matters when matches tighten and fatigue creeps in. In cities like those hosting the Miami Open and Indian Wells, the strong Filipino community presence transforms neutral venues into de facto home courts, creating a psychological edge that opponents simply cannot tap into from the other side of the net. That advantage is not sentimental, it is competitive fuel, and her results in America consistently reflect it. Meanwhile, her recent quarterfinal in Dubai against Coco Gauff served as a valuable diagnostic checkpoint. The match highlighted two specific growth areas: managing physical energy across an intense tournament week and sharpening serve effectiveness under pressure. Neither issue is structural. Both are developmental. Conditioning adjustments, smarter recovery protocols, and targeted preparation at the Rafa Nadal Academy can directly address late-week fatigue, while incremental serve upgrades, even if they temporarily increase double faults, represent the natural progression of turning a liability into a reliable weapon. Significant serve improvements almost always pass through a short-term dip before producing long-term gains. With Coach Juan Bosch fully aware of the margins to refine, the process is already underway. What Dubai ultimately confirmed is that the mental architecture, composure, belief, competitive resilience is already operating at an elite level. The victory over Jasmine Paolini, saving and earning match points in a tiebreak filled with chaos before ripping a fearless forehand winner up the line on her fifth opportunity, revealed everything about Alex Eala's competitive core. Most players her age, in a quarterfinal of a WTA 1000 event against a top 10 seed, would see their mechanics unravel after multiple missed match points. She did the opposite. Under suffocating pressure, she accelerated. That kind of resilience cannot be diagrammed on a whiteboard. It is either embedded or it is not, and Dubai confirmed that it is embedded in her. Reaching world no.